It's an amateur, but why the chat never and shit pop up on the side of the screen? Why can I never see my YouTube chat? Ever. Can I get my there we go. Can I thank you? Let me get my YouTube chat, man. Is that on the screen? Oh, it's right here. I'm about to see. Damn, I wanna get my user. Alright, welcome back to another live and shit, y'all. Hey, we about to finish off the rest of this video. This is the last part of this. We about to break it down like we did in the last part. If y'all didn't see the last part, make sure y'all go watch those. We about to break it down like we did the last 2 times. Get it?
It's like,
and after that, hey, I see that y'all rocking with the reaction to Andrew Tate, bro. So we gonna keep reacting to all the podcasts he on, and we gonna keep we're gonna keep that. Hey, but I do got some. I still post like IRL videos and shit like that too. So I'm gonna throw that up in there too.
What to do.
Every once in a while. Don't forget I upload every day on this channel and my reaction channel that y'all see on the screen and shit. And I stream every day on Twitch, upload every day on TikTok, upload every day on Instagram, upload shorts. Ah, shit, I put a lot.
It's inbuilt in a woman. It's in science, in my opinion. It is.
Religion's beautiful and it holds things together, and we're in Dubai, right? So we can talk about the religious aspects. But I'm telling you now, if you were to go to Los Angeles and be Mr. Nice Guy and have no experience with women, you don't stand a chance. That's the bottom line of it. Yeah, and so I may be coming across horrible. I may be coming across negative. I may be called a bunch of names. I'm just being hyper realistic. And I'm telling you, if you're gonna live in LA and your best chance,
if you gon' nah, you can just say the West in general. If you gonna think that you can be Mr. Nice Guy and not get ran over, I told you I got cheated on because I was too nice, and they told me I was too nice, and I was like, "What, she wanted me to punch in her face?" They said I was too nice. They don't want nice guys. I'm not saying that they want bad guys either. What they want though, they want the man. That's what they want. They don't want no nice guy. They want the man.
To find a woman who loves you, to have enough experience with women to find a good one, and also know how to act to keep her in love with you. That's what I'm saying. If you think you're gonna pull that off with your first chick ever.
No, I get it. What you're saying is like, imagine telling someone in business, like, oh, first year.
I just said the business.
Everyone watching, like, oh, you're so wrong, and oh my god.
I'm over to Dubai, nigga, not trying to pay no taxes. What?
But you're saying like the most, because I saw an interview once. You were just like, all right, if you want to open a business, don't care about the licenses and this, and let's just start it. Yeah. Once you start making money, then figure out the actual legal terms. But you can't say that.
It's start your business time.
That online, you can't say
don't
do it.
Yeah,
I mean, you said it.
yeah.
But like, I get but that's what he's saying in the girl boy situation. It's like, well, you can't say it, but he's like, well, I can. That's the realistic solution, right?
Yeah,
so I get it, you know.
Yeah, the realistic solution, unfortunately, not even unfortunately, the realistic solution is experience for everything in life.
Yeah,
we're talking about men and women here, and we get dragged in these conversations, and I get attacked with it. But you can take the same thing and apply it to anything else. To driving a car,
I said to business,
BJJ, to anything. It's experience. The more experienced you are, the harder it's going to be for you to fall into a trap and get tricked.
Better. Yeah.
And another thing we have to talk about here that we have not talked about yet at this point, and it's going to end up. I know this interview is going to bite me, so I'm going to say this here. Most divorces are initiated by women. More men. I would argue now that in your 40s and 50s, more men end up heartbroken and by themselves than women.
Yep.
I'd argue that women can replace their partner quicker. I'd argue they get over their man quicker because of unlimited options.
Yep.
If you're the average man and you're 41 or 42 or 48 or whatever, and you're a trucker, you have a little bit of money. You're You're an average dude. You got an average house. You got an average life. Your chick leaves you. Who are you replacing her with? Yeah. Fucking nobody, my friend. Nobody. You are lonely for eternity. Yep. She's out with God knows who. Maybe the guys only pump her and disappear, but she's never going to be truly lonely like a man is. There's a reason these men are committing suicide. There's a reason these. I
told you, I just had a friend that committed suicide. R.I.P. to Burn. Okay.
And feel the way they do. And I'm telling you, these are the men who did everything right because they don't have any experience with women. They did everything right, perhaps, and they got wrecked at the end. Sometimes when you're playing a game, if you're playing chess, right, and you're sticking to the rules, if your partner decides to just start moving pieces at random, you're going to get wrecked. And women are emotional creatures, and in the modern world, they're convinced to be emotional. People don't understand the Western world is convincing females.
Yep.
It's all about you, babe. Your truth. It doesn't matter what he's ever done for you. If you don't feel right, it's all about you. And they're just
you special. You the only girl that got good wet pussy. You the only girl that got a wet pussy. All this extra shit, bro. It's all fucking cap.
Destroying very good men who have done the right thing. And I'm saying the only
dudes make girls feel like they real life like fucking Cinderella. Like, bitch, go sit down.
Combat to that is to have enough experience to either get another one so you don't end up lonely forever, or to see the signs of it coming. Or I'm saying if you're just going to be ignorant to it, it ain't going to work out well. That's the reality.
I understand his angle totally.
No, I hate this. So
what he's saying is you got to play the game. You got to. You can think of it like a video game, bro. You got to. Sometimes you got to cheat. If that person cheating, you got to cheat too to win. Simple.
It's one thing.
And believe it or not, females like a nigga that's like that, bro. Females like that.
And we spoke about this in the car, but I want to do this on the podcast. Look, you're successful, martial art. We say martial art, like, it's well done. you've got the women. Do you not ever get bored? Like, you've got women, you've got cars, private jets. People do that. You don't even do the Instagram pic. Like, you know, everyone's in first class, private jets. You know, we hang out. I know exactly. You've got the watches, everything. You got the status now as well. Celebrity status. Not just you're rich. You have everything. And then you see a lot of these celebs, like God, like bless them, like In Excess, I think, or Robin Williams. People who have the same, but they end up killing themselves. Yeah. I know what the reason, but do you not feel like? Are you content? I mean, now, inshallah, hopefully you are because of recent introductions to yourself and God. But I mean, what is your life? Where's the fun?
That's a good question, and I will start by saying, because it ties into the conversation we just had. Women as a whole are something that I don't find interesting anymore. So I'm arguing this point because I'm arguing for the young people at home. I want to make it clear that the idea of me going, I'm rich, I want to go out and get girls, I'm long past that, and I'm long past that because I think a lot of men do it for the ego. A lot of men like having women around them for the status. But when you get to a point of status, when you realize they're the one getting the status and you're not getting anything, then it's no longer fun. When they're the one who's like, I'm with Tate, look, here's this guy, here's his house, and you're like, I don't even know, what's your name? Like, it's no longer fun because they're the ones gaining status and you're losing status because you got some random in your house. So I'm totally past chicks. So I'm probably more loyal than you possibly believe. I only argue these points for the average man, at 22-year-old guy who had his heart broken. He's like, what should I do? It's like, we'll get a new girl. How? Get good with girls. The fuck do you want me to say? But yeah, in terms of content, I think so. I think that obviously God has kept life interesting with this Matrix attack. It was kind of easy before then, but he's kept it interesting. But I do think that contentment comes from purpose, and I feel like I have a purpose. So yeah, I think I'm relatively overall happy. I'm not that interested in material possessions, although it looks like I am. I just buy them because I may as well, right? You know.
The way you drive your Bugatti, I can tell.
I don't give a shit, right? I just have speed bumps.
Like as a taxi, I was like, I've had some nice cars. I don't know.
You drive with speed bumps.
Listen, you're not having food in here, I'll get the rust. I'm like OCD. He's like, I'm like, well, this is a $5 million car. Like, you know me? I won't even drive it past 10,000 kilometers. Like, I put a tracker, all right, let me sell it now.
Yeah.
And I was like, who does that?
Yeah, I've wrecked it. But I just.
Yeah, let me know what I missed. I'm about to go on with my pizza real quick. I don't want to hold y'all too long.
I think contentment comes from purpose.
Go to work.
So yeah, I would say I'm a relatively happy person, but I get asked this question quite a few times, and the only way I can answer it is I don't measure my own emotional state. It doesn't cross my mind. I don't know how else to explain it. I happy or sad, I wake up with a very busy day, and I have a lot to do. And I guarantee on the saddest day I could possibly have and the happiest day I possibly have, my work will get done. It doesn't cross my mind. I don't know how else to say it. Outside of like a family death or something massive that's plaguing my brain, how I feel doesn't cross my mind. I don't know how else to explain it. I have things to do.
I think we're always, like, if you look back and say, were you richer when you were poorer or now? What would you say? Were you happier when you're poorer or now?
I think that the good old days are constantly happening. I think in 10 years from now, this will be the good old days.
Exactly.
I think we're always living the good old days.
Say.
It's how you look back.
I feel like we always forget the negatives. Like right now, we'll look back and say, oh, remember how fun that interview was and how good times were having. But then we won't remember like the bad stuff that happens this week and stuff. We just always remember the good. And I think the natural human brain learns to forget the pain or the bad moments.
To say content, everyone's is different. Like for me, have money, this, that. Me, it's just my kids. Like, I have to be home when they finish school and go to bed. I don't care what's going on that day, these two things, unless I'm really busy or I've got some commitments, I have to be there. Why? It's just me. This is my pleasure. I can't explain. Before kids, I was like, you know, I used to have my nephew. And since I've got kids, I forgot about him. You know, he was like, I was like, yeah. My sister, these are mine, you know, like, it's just this kind of a thing. Like, but my contentness is seeing them happy, and my goal is to be successful enough to the point where I'm dead, where before I die, they're set.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that's what. I just need to make sure they're set. If, God forbid, I'm not, but they've got enough values and thing, and that stems from religion. But what I want to go back into is, like, which has gone viral lately, as we saw, and I want to bring this up on the podcast. You've recently chosen to be a Muslim, and I want to say, what made you take that path? Because I'm not even nothing, but my face is parting everywhere, and I wish I had a better outfit in that mosque, because I'm on every news from Pakistan to Africa. Andrew Tate.
Come on, you can't forget
Muslim
the drink.
with Tim Khan. My name's Tim
Can't
now.
forget
Like,
the
people
drink,
get
man.
I'm saying the name right. Tom Khan. Tag me on Instagram, you know. But like, what made you?
Got some
like,
Domino's pizza.
You've got
Hey, what I
everything.
miss?
Like to a lot of people saying, why would you want to be in a religion where there's certain boundaries? Why? Because you're living this life. A lot of Westerners will say, why would you be in Islam? Why? Like, what made you?
Humans need boundaries. That's the first thing I'll start by saying. I'll say that I used to be an atheist. I like to believe that I found scientific proof for God. I think that there's an equal and opposite force. That was one of Newton's laws. And when you understand the evil that exists in the world today, there must be an opposite force to the evil, which has to be God. To sit and say that the things that are happening in the world today aren't truly evil is ignorant. And once you understand they're truly evil and that people are doing them on purpose, not on accident, you understand that Shaitan exists, the demons exist, which means God must exist. So then you have to find the religion which I believe you feel the most affinity to. Truthfully, I think Islam is almost the only religion on the planet. I look at other religions now and they don't have any red lines. They don't have any non-tolerance. If you're going to sit there and be tolerant of absolutely everything, then you stand for nothing. So how can you be a religion? But the whole point of religion is exactly what you said. There are certain things you cannot do. If you're going to have a religion and say, well, you can do whatever you want, then you don't have a belief system. So it's almost like people say, why did you choose the Muslim religion? I sit and say, name another one. Name another religion where you actually are sticking to guidance and adherence to certain rules to show respect to God. Name one. And you can't, which means it must be the only one. Which means
not wrong.
It's the right one. So to me, it's pretty simple. Like, I don't think there's any competition or alternative to it. And I've always felt an affinity for it. I've always been talking on podcasts about how much I respect it. Like, and if you're going to be religious, you're going to choose the path you respect. I don't think there's any other choice. I see people say they're Christian all days long, and I say, what does that mean?
They don't
I can name drag queens who are Christian. I can name, no, but what does it mean?
No, but I understand your
But
point,
what does it
truly,
mean?
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. And there has to be a degree. I mean, I'm attacked all the time, and I get it. But there has to be a degree of intolerance inside of a rule set. That's what the rule set means. In a football game, offside rule is intolerance. There has to be intolerance inside of any set of rules. If you're going to come along and say we have absolutely zero intolerance and we're tolerant of everything, then you have no rules. And then society degrades. So everything we were talking earlier about man, women, family, how all of the problems, all of the degenerate behaviors I'm advertising so men can protect their men.
I grew up in a black church. The Baptist church, if y'all know what that is, they got Catholic, Baptist. I guess that means I'm a Christian. I don't know, really. And it's sad that I don't know, but I do believe in God. I do believe in higher power, bro. Yeah, I believe God is real. I believe in good and evil, negative, positive. I believe in heaven and hell. You know?
Mental state instead of falling in love and ending up suicidal by some woman who leaves him and cheats on them. All of that can be prevented with a rule set. But it's only Islam that can do that. You can't go to a church and go, I've met a Christian girl, don't worry, it's in the bag. Good luck, friend. We know what's going to happen. So I don't think there's any competition. It has to be the truth. It has to be the truth.
Mashallah. Yeah, mashallah. Honestly, and I'm not you get good Christians, like we know. You get
you get good people of all kinds, of course.
All kinds, even Jews. Like you get these traditional Christians, which I respect.
And he's not disrespecting no other religion, though. That's what people don't get. They're gonna take him out of context, and they're gonna say that he disrespecting other religions, and he's basically not. Like, he's literally just saying the facts. It really is.
To also can't practice their own religion because Christianity is like you said, it's evolving to the point where it's fit in society, where Islam will never do that. We spoke once and I said, you could give me $10 billion to say, denounce Islam, I wouldn't do it. And I mean it. You could put the cash straight in front of me. You could never make me do that. You could do that with anyone else.
Religion should shape society. Society
shouldn't shape religion. I agree. Damn.
You shouldn't shape religion. And that's what's happened.
Yeah, like, James, I'm not sure how many times you've been here. We could literally go to the beach now, sit somewhere, all our phones, these watches, leave the car engine running and just leave. Come back in 3 hours, it's there. Only thing that maybe the battery dies. Literally, no one will touch it because it stems from Islamic law. And I think, like, when we're talking, I think, and I know a lot of stick and as well support, it went viral saying he's doing it for clout, he's not. And I can truly say, I know him for a long time and we speak of different things. It was purely his decision, purely to go in that mosque that day. It was just spiritual. It was UFC. We had about 50 people waiting for us in the restaurant. We just went to pray and it was just this kind of relaxation. I saw his eyes. He felt good. Yeah. And it was good to see because he has a lot. He can't even be out once he leaves this door. He has to put his face on. He doesn't have to, but picture, he stop with 100 stop. Any mistake, he could do this from a long angle. Looks like he's punching a woman. He's in that kind of like world now. And I think he's got a lot of responsibility also because now the Muslim world is very, as well, judgmental, unfortunately. Yeah. It's beautiful religion, but the people don't judge by the.
But that's what he likes about it, because there is boundaries.
Well, there is boundaries, but also I think that the bottom line of it all is, James said it earlier, hedonism and pleasure, etc., is a black hole. And if you don't have any self-enforced boundaries or boundaries from a higher power, you will never fill that black hole. I've never been a degenerate person. I've never been degenerate when it comes to fornication. I've never been a gambler. I've never tried a single drug in my life. I've never tried steroids. I've never smoked a puff of weed. Nothing. I've never been a degenerate guy. Bit of vodka, some cigars, and work and really hard work. That's fine. But I'm saying that the people who try and find happiness through endless hedonism, it's a black hole. And the truth to happiness is to come along and find some rule sets that you respect and agree and say, no, I don't do this, I don't do that. And you'll feel better doing that. And this is the reality of it. And this is how God gives you peace in your heart and in your mind. You don't look at 5 Palm and want to go. You just don't want to go. And it's so much better. You know the
5 Palm are gonna put a lawsuit on me. I love 5 Palm.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many people in your life through probably the last 10 years that say no to you. And you see people, you know, I love Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like he hasn't got enough people around him to say no. And I feel like sometimes Islam and religion, you put a higher power, you have someone there that for the rest of your life, no matter, you could triple your net worth, tenfold, whatever, you could increase everything. I think it's such a beautiful thing to have something above you that is the real rule maker.
You know the only thing better than having everything you want? Not wanting things. I'm telling you, you get more peace in your heart from not wanting something than having as much as what you want of it. I'm telling you. If you were to ask a man right now, if we could cure ourselves or cure our hearts, if you were to say, let's talk about women because we talked about it a bunch, right? If you could give a man to have any woman he wants and he's running around having every girl he wants all day long, there's still going to be stress. He's still going to be in and out of hotel rooms. He's still going to be driving in traffic, all this garbage. If you could make him click and not want him anymore, that's where the peace is. The peace is not having everything you want. The peace is not wanting things. That's the truth.
I also think it comes down to what is the purpose of life. Like, if I was to ask you, what is the purpose of life or your purpose? What's the purpose of humans? What would you say?
To enjoy it.
Just to...
And
I feel like
procreation.
for me, without being too pessimistic, I feel like on this fucking organic rock flying through the universe, like the human existence as a statistic from the Big Bang is
to enjoy life
even a
and,
blink of an eye is too generous.
and
I'm
procreate
like,
and leave
fuck no,
something,
let's just enjoy it, because
which is to care.
some people believe that. Myself, I'm not quite atheist. I've done magic mushrooms, and now I'm like, there's something. You know, there was eternal blackness before life. There is a risk there'll be eternal blackness after life. So I want to make sure that my time on the planet, I make the most. And do you know what? We probably could all say this honestly, which is such a beautiful thing, is I would not trade my life with anyone else's. And I think that is the biggest blessing that I could ever have in life.
I agree with you. And now that I'm religious, I can't wait till I start doing podcasts with atheists, because I was the #1 atheist. I was Mr. Atheist. And now I realize that I was completely wrong.
Do you think part of that
100%
No,
was
but
wrong.
for me, and I'm going to be like the one, I believe, I understand what you're saying as well, but then you got to define what's happy for
I always believe in God, because for one, growing up black right there, you in the church on it every Sunday, and the church got the clothes on, but I mean, I was kind of forced into it, which I don't see nothing wrong with it really, because I'm good right now. I'm not, in prison and all like that. I believe in God, but I got some questions, that need to be answered by, I don't know, by a pastor or somebody. They just gotta be answered, bro. Yeah, I know he real. I know he there. For sure. I know I pray to him, and I know he there.
Everyone else has got a different kind of being happy.
I just got some questions,
Then it's limitless, in a way. We'll all be just like, it'll be a wild zoo. I believe we're not...
By the way, it's hard for me to believe in the Bible. I don't know, bro. It's hard for me to believe in the Bible. Especially with society now, bro. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe in the Bible that. So you telling me out of all the times that the book then got switched up from thousands of years ago, that it not one time changed. It not one time changed nothing about it. That it stood the same the whole time. I don't believe that.
We're too perfect of a creation. The blink of an eye, science can't reenact to be a Big Bang. I think there's a purpose. Why are we sitting here? Why are these humans, look how we are. We've made the power, the way, if the sun moved a few inches this way, we'd all burn. It went this way. Everything's so perfect. The veins, the human eye, bro, like things you forget, the nose, the smell. There's a purpose for everything. I truly believe there's a purpose why we're put on this earth. And that's how I'm saying too, but I believe there's a thing like, we have mums. If your mum says to me, get me this, that, you go out of your way for her because she gave you birth.
Yeah.
She created you.
True.
I believe there's something out there, whatever you want to call it, I believe is Allah the Creator.
Yeah.
We're put on this earth to satisfy them in every way we can, to just show our, at least respect, live by
And something else that Like something else that I believe, bro. Allah, Buddha, God. I feel like they all the same person, just in different forms. Different people believe in different things. The name is different. Different people believe in different stories of how it came about. Let me say it like that. Like the name is different. How they worship him is different. The clothes they wear is different. Like what they say is different. But I feel like at the end of the day, it all ties to the same thing, God. And I feel like as long as you believe in that, I feel like you good. You got it. And be a positive force to the world. You got it.
Their rules.
Like, how can you not go to, bro? I feel like, bro, God not mean, huh? Like they say, because imagine you've done everything positive most of your life, trying your hardest, giving back to charities, feeding the homeless, being positive, helping other people, not being a dickhead. Bro, how can,
But also spread the message and do something in that way. That's what I believe, because I believe we're too diverse and too perfect.
Who are atheists? Let me know in the comments.
creation
Who are
to be
atheists?
just here
Let me know why you're
to
atheist.
pay bills, die, all this. There's a reason, and I believe the reason is like, and people laugh. I believe he became Muslim as well. He's got a huge. I think the whole Muslim world now. He's at this point where he could be like an ex-Khabib or Muhammad Ali, and you'll laugh. But I'm telling you, you'll hear this soundbite one day. People are gonna see him. He could change a lot of lives now, because there's a lot of Muslim kids who are like, people in the shadows never had a role model too.
Yeah.
In society.
What about you? You're religious?
I'm Muslim, and I was gonna say, do you think like even when you became Muslim, do you think a reason was maybe you're going through like a tough time and you
No.
like good things suddenly came and you just felt there has to be something for it?
No, I don't think so. And even at the height of my tough times, I'm not here to brag or act arrogant on camera.
Yeah.
Right. One of my advantages in life is my mental rigidity. I've always been that guy. So
Yeah.
even at the height of the mass matrix attack, which we haven't even talked about at its full extent,
Yeah.
I've always been pretty good under pressure. That's how I've
WT.
been. So I certainly wasn't under pressure and looking for, a way to feel better.
This
It
man
wasn't
got a
like
whole
that. I
Bugatti
just
watch.
truly respect and understand that God is real, and I
Yeah.
truly respect and understand that with my own eyes, what I've observed, the truest way to show respect to God is through Islam. It's the only thing I've seen that I truly respect, and I means that the religion as a whole has to be the truth. I can't worship something I don't respect. I can't be called something I don't respect. I don't know how else to explain it. But it's interesting, and he's atheistic, and I'd love to talk to atheists, because I used to be the number one atheist, right? I used to believe.
But what changed that?
What changed it is, number one, observing all the evil in the world.
Yeah.
I don't think many people are perspicacious enough and pay enough attention and genuinely understand how evil the world can be.
Most of the people that's kind of like, most of the people, bro, that I seen from personal experience that's like in the streets and stuff, that's killed and all that, they don't believe in God. They don't.
And how evil it is.
I mean, obviously, I went to church a couple of times when I was a kid because their mama bust their ass.
We
and
hear
they
about
wake up on
crime.
Sunday and go to church, but
We hear about certain things,
know?
but there are truly heinous
and then you look at
sins.
the positive people, and they religious. Like, they believe in God, they believe in Allah, they believe in Buddha, they believe in,
To happen on the planet every single day. Children getting murdered, people getting sick for no reason. Like, all of this genuine bad things are happening in the world, as well as the fact that I truly believe the agendas in charge of the world are genuinely evil. And there cannot be a force without an equal and opposite force. That's Newton's third law, right?
Newton's
If
law,
if
yeah.
I push against you, there's
I
an
hear that
equal and
all the
opposite
time a
force.
lot.
So if there's true
I hear
evil,
that all the
if
time.
you
I
see
make
Satan,
those
if Satan appears in front of you,
I hear that a
you're going to
lot.
believe in God, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened for me. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I think when you have negative experiences, and I'm talking about truly negative experiences, I've had a few where you come close to losing your life, or you meet other people who come close to losing their lives. Nobody's an atheist at the end, my friend. He will not be an atheist if he gets stabbed and he's about to die. And he'll be praying to God like you've never seen. Yeah. Atheists stop being atheists quickly when the game gets real. So all of us innately understand in God. The most atheist man alive will pray if he really needs help. So I think we all innately understand God. God's certainly real. God has, like Tam said, giving us innate understandings of what's right and what's wrong. And also, if we're going to talk about happiness, as James said, we're here to be happy and we're here to enjoy ourselves. It's through God that you're happy and enjoy yourself. Yeah. It's not through that black hole of hedonism. It's not through endless pussy and supercars and booze. And it's not those things. You can find any man who goes down that hole and tell me, are they happy? The answer is no. Who's the man who's happiest? The man who's praying.
I just said that.
I think if you put your happiness in everything.
I just said that, bro. Like, most of the criminals, most of the bad guys or whatever, the people that's on the street, the people that's doing drugs and shit, they don't believe in God. Most of them, they don't believe in God. They don't. But most of the religious people, Like take like look at this. It's a table full of religious people. Look at them. Positive forces of the world. Peaceful.
Thing that's
Just
here.
want better for everybody else. True.
Eventually, you probably
God is real.
have it. Then you realize that's not
I hope this
ultimate
shit don't get
happiness. You
taken
need
down,
to have faith in something beyond what's here.
Not that it
And
gets
then that's
taken
why I
down
say
for
like
God.
even that's
Was
why I
that
asked
Amiani
why
brother?
you
Was
convert
good.
because I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not gonna say I'm the best practicing Muslim.
Yeah.
But it was through my toughest times where I chose to do good things, and I was saying like subconsciously said, what's the most honest thing to do? Like it was through like just a ton of bad friends, just bad environments that happened, and I was going through a very dark time, right?
Yeah.
And I just told myself, just do the right thing. It's hard, because if you do the wrong thing, you get instant satisfaction.
Yeah, I believe God is
right?
everything
And it's like,
positive too.
well,
like
if I
Chico
just
said.
go and
I
just
agree with that,
act
100%.
snaky like these people and just start manipulating, I was like, you know what? It's okay. Lose these friends, lose these people around
Are
you.
you
Just
done it, Deanna?
trust the process. And eventually, I got so much good out of it, and I was like, and that's kind of like what made me a lot more like faithful. I was like, okay, if you do good, it's hard sometimes, but long term,
It's delayed gratification.
exactly,
You can eat the cake now and you're happy you had the cake, but if you want to be in fantastic shape, you have to go without the cake and look better later. And you're right, God is very giving. And I think that I don't know anybody who did the right things and was good to people and showed people respect, even if it was hard at the time, who didn't eventually get rewarded for it.
If you're doing good
I just
things
said that. I
to
just
get
said
good
that.
things,
I just
then
said
that's
that.
not because you're trying to be good.
Correct.
Facts.
So I don't want people watching this and saying, "Oh my God, Mo and Andrew said if you do good things will come." They probably won't, and a lot of times it comes so delayed, and you'd only ever really get the good result if you purely did it as, you know what?
Yes, if you did it as like genuineness, bro. Like if you do something like say, like I literally believe in what goes around comes around, bro. If you put positive into the world, like say if your friend need a ride or something like that, and you help him get to where he need to be, bro. Your blessing right there could be that God helped y'all get there safely, bro. Or it could come in a different shape or form. It might come later on in life. You never know. But yeah, most people just be wanting it fast. I paid for that, bro. I heard somebody one time say when I was a kid, bro. Shit, I forgot it was in church or something like that, bro. I forgot the name of the. I think his name was Jaheim or something like that. That boy did something. He said he gave a homeless person $20 or something like that, and he said he thought God was gonna give him money back. Boy, oh man.
Gonna take the good decision.
It's start your business
Let
time.
me stop pausing. I forgot we actually do this whole thing. My fault, y'all boys and girls.
If the good comes or doesn't, that's my decision.
I
think I think
want to
we got
argue the
like
God
40
point a
minutes
bit
left.
more for all the
47
atheists who are
minutes.
watching, and I would say that if you remove God from society completely, if you click your fingers and he's gone, and in most of the world where there's religion, and if you completely remove religion from earth, you'll see the devil appear pretty quickly. You'll see mass breakdown of society,
Yeah.
you'll see crime, you'll see rape, you'll see murder, you'll see theft, and then you'll understand that God is a real force. Even if you want to argue against God, even just the idea of God in and of himself, if enough people believe in the idea of a God and it makes them act righteously, then the idea is a real thing. We don't even have to talk about it in the pure man in the sky. We don't have to talk about it in that way. I'm saying that the idea of God is a real idea that keeps society functioning. So God must exist to some degree, even as a concept.
Yeah.
And when you remove God from society, the devil appears. And there's very few countries on earth now that you can say are non-religious, which aren't just completely and utterly degenerating. People in America say, "Oh yeah, I'm not religious." You're religious to the woke agenda. You're religious to liberalism. Like these people, everyone needs something to believe in.
Yeah.
The people who are the most intolerant, the most hateful, thanks bro, the most intolerant, the most hateful, the ones who tried to cancel me for having a different opinion, the most nasty, negative people on earth are the atheists who believe in a new agenda. They believe in woke agenda. They have a new religion. Everybody believes in something. And if you believe in God, you have a firm framework which has been tested throughout time. Another thing about the whole modern
That was a
world,
phone
we
call,
talk whether this is
motherfucker.
about the
Yeah.
way men and women interact, whether it's the way about men going into bathrooms, whatever it is. The religious doctrines, what's great about them is they've existed long enough for us to test them. We see what happens to society when they're adhered to. All this new think, this brand new think is untested. When they sit and say, you shouldn't discipline children, that's bad. We did a psychological study, and if you discipline children, it's bad for them. I argue, well, we built the pyramids and went to the moon and built the modern world with disciplined kids. Now you're sitting saying that that's somehow wrong. Well, how do you know what's going to happen when you let kids do whatever the fuck they want? Because I don't know if it's going to be a good thing. This is all new think garbage. We know where religion
Shit, we see what happened. We got the school shooters when the kids do whatever they want.
takes us, right? This new think, and we're just going to go and agree with all this other new crap. I don't think it's going to end well.
Like because already I don't know you well, but you can see how you act and how you portray and carry yourself as well. we're well raised. But everything, like we're saying, rules and what we say, everything has stemmed from Judeo-Christian values. Then Quran, from, you don't know what, like people say, what's being good? Where do we know giving charity, giving a smile, crossing over the road with a lady? This all stems from religion. Otherwise, if you go back to the cavemen, whatever you want to say, days, it'll be literally pillage that whole village, take what's mine, the strong man survives. We'll just kill each other. Okay, you've got $1 million, you've got $1 I'm going to try and kill you, he's going to kill me. Take your sister, take his... Unfortunately, that was life. That would have been bury girls alive. Why? Because they're not strong. The baby's fetus he weighed 5 pounds. Boom, like Spartans, or whatever. 3 on the movie. The rule set came from Judaism, Christianity. It's like all these values. On the way, like he said, they were tampered with. They kind of sold out to the system where they were afraid. They couldn't. They had to adapt. Where instead of saying no, this is our rules. We believe this is not allowed. This is not allowed. And they felt, like he said, that's why he chose Islam. But without religion or God, and obviously, I believe for a fact God exists and the Creator, bringing these messages to prophets and messengers, we wouldn't even know what good and bad is. You would not know.
Do you know what's crazy as well? If we look at, say, like you say there correctly about, we look at history, I think a lot of the woke movement at the moment are so ignorant to history that they think nowadays is really bad. They think, misgendering someone or getting the pronoun wrong is bad. You're like, rewind 100 years and we were doing some really fucked up shit to each other. Yeah. And like you say, we can pick holes in...
Alright, let's skip through the religion topic a little bit.
They want to control you with other channels, and I acted in degenerate ways, like...
Tam, how dare you want to be a big strong man of resource? How dare you want to take care of the people you care about most? How dare you want to be able to stand up against 3 normal sized men and say you're not going to touch any of the women I care about? That makes you bad. When I sit here and say these things about women, they call me misogynistic. Every single one of them is taken out of context. They don't understand I'm talking about protecting and providing for women. When I say that I'm the one who would drive the car through the thunderstorm in the middle of the night on the rocky road, I'm not insulting women. I'm saying it's my responsibility to keep us safe. That's why I will take the risk. They totally misunderstand it. They want to attack me and anybody else who has...
Anytime it's hard raining, and see if a girl driving, or somebody that I'm with, or somebody I may not be with, or whatever the case may be, bro, I always take over, bro, because I'm more calm and relaxed. Like, I turn on my music, hard rain, you can't even see, I do my little 10 miles an hour. Boom, take my time, easy. We gonna get home safe, y'all take y'all nap, don't worry about it. I play my music, take my time, stay calm.
Any kind of baseline morality, because when they destroy that, your mind is empty for the slave programming. Then they can install the new program, whatever they decide it wants to be. If they want to wipe your mind and give you a new programming, do you think it's to make you happy, content, and individualistic, or to make you a slave so they can be tyrannical? That's all they want to do. And religion and a few other things are in their way. Another thing that's truly in their way, we talked about this a lot, that's the only reason I'm going to come back to it. The beautiful interaction between man and woman is in their way. It's in the reason they're destroying this in real time is because if you have a man and he loves his wife and his wife is a good woman and they have a family home and he has children, he is ready to die on that porch. That's his house. That's his castle. That's his woman. This is why they try and fuck it up. This is why they want the woman to not listen to him to run around going, women don't listen, I may as well just run around with a bunch of hoes and destroy all of it because now he ain't going to die for nothing.
Can you imagine, in UK, it's illegal to have another wife, but it's okay to commit adultery? It explains this point well. They want you to have these affairs. I think a man has another wife, you can go to jail. But if she cheats and you've got 5 kids, you've provided for her life, nothing happens. So of course, she'll still keep the kids. And a lot of men, I think that, like he says, he empowers men.
Hey, for all the United Kingdom people, that's how it is out there for real. You can't have more than one wife. Who the fuck type of... Do y'all not see how these people want control, bro? Just, they won't be in control of everything, you nosy motherfuckers. Damn.
The system or what he thinks is purely because of the way everyone's got their own system or ideas how they will do it. But what he's writing is he's giving them this strong empowerment. Why? Because these men work their ass off all day. No one sees their depression, working job just to put that food on the table. And I'm not giving a stop. That's what their life is. When you have a wife and kids,
it's start your business time.
And you say right though, I agree with that.
Their life.
A man and a woman is truly powerful, bro. Nobody understand. I don't know if y'all watched The Matrix. I hate to keep bringing up the analogy because the fucking the top G is right there and shit. But bro, if you watch The Matrix, Neo and oh girl, powerful. Couldn't fuck with them. What? You couldn't fuck with them. Nah, but the people know that are higher uppers and shit. They know if you start fucking up the families and shit, if you start putting women and men against each other, let them fight against each other, the world goes to shit. And that's what they want. They want everybody to be occupied. They don't want nobody to focus on what the fuck they got going on. Yeah, I watched a crazy video that Luke Belmore had made. I'm gonna react to it on my reaction channel. Fucking last night I was on my push-ups about the banking shit. Ooh, I got some tea for y'all. Boy, what?
Life's gone. It's to
It's
pay
some sneaking motherfuckers up there at the top. Boy, what?
those bills, come home, and I've seen it. I've seen the ones, yeah, you're all right, here, there's your food. Maybe they don't cook for them. Kids, they ignore them, get ruined. He's thinking, then he goes back to that weekend, takes him out, drives, repeat, dies, mortgage is there. Finally, by the time he dies, he might have paid it or not. That's depression. You know, he's put into that system. He's saying, if that woman leaves him, he's fucked. So he's got these debts, he's got these kids. Kids don't want to see him. What does he do? He doesn't know nothing else. He's been programmed to just do that to provide for his family. And I can understand why men, when they have these divorces or their kids and the kids are taken away, it's a real situation. There's like a movie where men don't even get a chance to see the kids if the woman says one thing. There's no investigation.
Bro, I'll say this now. Say this now. And yeah, it was haram. It was before my religious experience. I used to run the webcam business. And I will say this now. Webcam girls have stopped more men committing suicide than any therapist. The number of men who used to go on these websites and pay these girls and say, my wife doesn't respect me, she left me, I don't get to see the kids, I'm in debt now, I have to pay her X amount of money, I'm 42, no woman wants me, I can't find anyone, you're the only person who remembers my birthday. It's the reality.
You had a good website,
bro.
Ding, Dave, it's your birthday today. Let me crush a banana with my foot.
I had reminders set up. But it's the reality for so many men, and it's a truly cynical reality, and that's why when I give the answers I give about man being experienced, I know it seems cynical and degenerate, but that's the only answer I found. It's like, okay, well then you need to have a little bit about you. At least you know you're never going to be lonely forever. Man, if you meet a woman at 17, you've been with her your whole life. How are you going to get in the dating scene at 40 fucking? Bro, it's over. It's over. The game's over. It's over. And that's the point I'm making. And religion fixes all these problems. The world can be a beautiful place with God's guidance. If you take God's guidance away, humans are not that good. Humans are truly, we said earlier about pecking orders. You're right. And religion also prevents a lot of that. I'm telling you now what happens in unchecked societies, whether you believe me or not. You go to a godless country. Let's say you go to Miami. I go to Miami. Instagram gives me my account back. We'll see. I get my blue check mark out. 95% of girlfriends and wives will come and meet me. 95% of them. And they'll sit there with me on a date, expecting me to be a dumbass. Oops, I'm a genius, and I'm actually rich as I look like on Instagram. Oh, funnily enough, I'm not lying. That's it. It's game over. I can ruin men. I got to the point where I genuinely felt bad. I'd go and date a girl, and she'd be 10, and she'd be beautiful, and after like 3 or 4 dates, we'd already slept together, whatever. She'd go, yeah, there's my ex. And I'd see the text, and I was like, I feel bad for these. It's almost like shooting fish in a barrel, my friend. I felt bad for the men. That's a degree of morality most men never get to. Where I was like, I'm driving men to suicide running through these chicks, and that's what happens in a godless society. That's all that happens. It's a hierarchy, and there are men out there at a certain level of status and capability and money who can just take your chick. They can do whatever they want. Maybe they can't take her right away. Maybe she'll ignore the first message. Yeah. Maybe she'll ignore the second message. But then you'll start arguing with her.
Shit, debatable.
Then she'll like your pick back.
But for most of them, it's facts. For most of them, it's fucking facts.
I'm telling you the game. I'm telling you. I've done it. And I'm saying you need God to prevent these things. So if you take away God from society, a lot of atheists who I talk to, they go, oh, I don't believe in God. I was like, you're lucky God's real, my friend. Because if God wasn't real, little shits like you would be in a lot of trouble. Because you don't stand a chance in violence. You don't stand a chance in the sexual marketplace. You don't stand a chance in any realm. You need God 100%. More than me.
You're from a rugby background. Imagine those like Maui Samoans, if there was no God, running through. You're made at 6'6", like remember John Olomu? Yeah. Imagine him. He wants your girl, and you're just like a soft girl with no money. Imagine the guy was like 6'6", 20 stone, ran 100 meters in 10 seconds, muscular, fit. You know what I mean? He was like a specimen. That guy could have been a champion in any sport. Yeah. He could have.
You spoke there about getting your account back on Instagram. So Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, gives Donald Trump his page back, gives you his. You just wake up one day, you're like, oh, cheers, Elon. Yeah. One, do you use it? Yeah. Would you use it?
Twitter probably, yeah.
It's a play. I shouldn't be. I've got into it recently. It's the cesspit.
Oh, cesspit of society, yeah.
And sometimes I actually like getting rolled up and triggered, and I love nibbling and biting. But then sometimes I'm not present with the people I really care about. I'm like, wait, 1 minute, babe.
You want dinner? Notification.
Yeah, 1 minute, babe. Yeah, it's a Nusret steak. Keep it back. I'm in a pretty good argument here. But then I do see this turning because Elon's officially got it now. He did that video of taking a sink.
Taking a sink inside.
Let that sink in. Like, I hope on the horizon there is an overcompensation of all this cancellation and all of this. And I do think that, you know, I do hope that people start getting their accounts back. I think that it would be good. And, you know, maybe one more chance.
It would be, views need to be challenged, including my own, right? My only concern, I only have two concerns about being canceled. One is about them trying to put me in jail for no reason, because that's stage 2. That's the first concern. The second concern is that when you are canceled and you take all of your fans with you, which I have done, most people can't do that. There's also a big difference between viewers and fans, I've learned. There's a whole lot of people who get a lot of viewers because they know how to play the algo and people recognize their face and they'll kind of watch them. But there's very few people on the planet who can get deleted from everything and say, you have to download a brand new app, make a brand new account, and you can only find me here. I'm currently on Rumble.
Sneeko
and
got that
people
as
will
well.
actually bother to move. And I've done that en masse. I've sent stock prices 30-40% to the moon. So I have fans as opposed to viewers, which is a very important point. But I think that what's scary about that is when all your fans come with you, you do exist inside of an echo chamber to a degree. I like disagreeing with people. I like testing my thinking. I like having people say, no, Andrew, that's not true. I absolutely love everyone who disagrees with me. I would never want to cancel any of them. I think that's the interesting part of being alive, and I think that that's how you find the truth in the end. I would love for someone to sit down and prove me wrong. Of course, no one can, but I would love someone to try. So that's the whole point of getting to it. So you're right. With this cancellation thing, it is kind of scary because you create echo chambers, and the social media platforms also are algorithmically driven to do that. They do that on purpose. They want that because they want the arguments and they want the splits in the sides. So we'll have to see how Elon changes algos and those kind of things. I know I'll eventually get Instagram back. If I come back to Twitter, that's great. YouTube I'll never return to because I'm Mr. Rumble now.
The thing about this which annoyed me was when people were championing your cancellation. And again, today when I came in, my manager looks me in the eyes. He goes, you could lose 100,000 followers. I was like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right? I said, if you fucking hate Andrew Tate that much, take the video, challenge him, educate me.
That's life,
Because this is what I do, right?
Yeah.
If I see someone chatting shit about nutrition, I'm like, yes. Someone sends it to me, and actually people give me content to critique. I then end up coming out on top by taking the nonsense and misinformation. Why not give people the opportunity that are apparently right and you're wrong?
Yeah.
And don't cancel Andrew Tate. Educate the people as to where he's wrong.
Debate him.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that because the truth is about the whole cancel mob and the cancellation thing is that they're just hateful people. And I really would stand by, and I don't want this to be arrogant. I don't want to state this from a position of arrogance, but this is true. Like I said, me and my team are very professional, and I really believe I have one of the best teams on earth. I became the most Googled man on the planet in 6 months. We decided to do it, and 6 months later, I was the most Googled man on the planet. So I work with some of the best people on the planet. We are extremely statistical. We analyze all the data, everything in real time. And we've put together a plan and a map of all the reasons why my cancellation came to fruition, including the non-tangibles. I understand the intangibles. I understand that I appear scary. I talk very quickly. I'm an ex-fighter. I live in Romania. I have these big pit bulls and these machine guns, and I look like a bad guy. I'd be stupid to sit and say I don't look like an evil villain. I get it. I live in a big black bat cave. I understand there's so many intangibles involved in all of it, right? So I understand intimately why I was canceled. But one of the reasons why, and this is an intangible, but I truly believe it to be true. Everyone says hate doesn't come from above, but when you're truly super successful, you'll see this as well. And so will all you guys. When you're rich and fairly good looking or big and strong and you've got a good family, people love you around you and you're charismatic and you're interesting and you're winning at life. You have every God-given gift. You have everything. There's a large contingent of Earth who's just going to dislike you. There's a lot of people who looked at me and goes, I can't call him stupid. I can't call him broke. I can't call him particularly ugly. I can't call him fat. What can I do? He's bad. That's their only weapon, and they're hateful and they're jealous. Like if I was a little bit less cool, I wouldn't have got to that level of cancellation. But they're like, this dude's got every single thing ticked off. If we don't get him now for being a bad man, we're never gonna be able to get him. That's it. So there's a whole bunch of intangibles involved, but these people are genuinely just hateful people. And this is another thing that I say all the time, and I don't think people understand because I get asked always why I'm still fighting against the Matrix, even though I truly believe my life's going to be in danger. And the reason is because I believe that the battle has come to all of us, and I don't believe it can be avoided. I think you have two choices. You either understand the way the world's going, and you understand the lies they're trying to purport to your children, and you understand what Satan's trying to do, and you fight against it because you want to be one with your spirit and one with your heart and one with your mind, or you pretend the battle isn't happening, absorb all of their garbage they're teaching you, and then you're going to end up fighting against yourself. Because I don't think your soul and your spirit will allow you to sit there and digest these lives and be happy. There's a reason these people who disagree with me are all depressed, on anxiety medicine. Like, I look at all my haters, they all have mental conditions. They're all fucking sitting there saying how sad they are. And I'm like, the reason is because if you're going to sit there and ignore your own eyes, pretend God isn't real, pretend all these narratives they're trying to teach you are true, have no standards, be tolerant of everything, and have no serious relationships with anybody, you're going to be an unhappy person. So you either fight against the matrix and have your mind in order, or you sacrificed your mind to the machine and you end up battling against yourself. There's no other way out. This battle's here for everybody. And if you're truly a man of God and a man of principles and you stand by them and stick by them, you're going to end up an enemy of the machine. You're going to end up the resistance like we all are now by saying things they don't want us.
It's start your business time.
Real estate is booming.
I should be booming. It's business time.
So, free yourself from this by going freelance. Get your thing started.
I'm the boss of me!
LegalZoom. Now you're in business.
Advertise and promote your business with an all-in-one digital marketing package. Get an instant quote for your website, digital marketing, social media management, and SEO. Full-service digital marketing companies will build you a stunning website, get into the top of Google search results, help you run paid ads, and build a brand through powerful social media management. Click below to talk to a representative and get a quote for these services and more today. A website is essential for any business. It's a version of your business most people will see. Anytime someone searches for your business or what you offer, you should be the first thing they see. Digital marketing is a powerful tool that drives visitors to your site from Facebook, Google, Instagram, and more. Good social media management is like having an attention-grabbing storefront on a very busy street. To get a quote on a new website and to make sure you're driving customers to your website with a full digital marketing package, click the blue button below.
To say. Otherwise, you have to sit here and go, everything they tell me is true, the machine tells the truth, but then you're going to suffer within yourself. There's no way out.
Do you feel you? Because you came out blazing, and being honest, you sometimes second think everything you write, you edit, you think, I don't want to say certain thing in case I do get cancelled one day. Honestly.
In some respects, yeah, because it's not just me, it's a responsibility to my family, my friends, and after a while you actually become a bit of a spearhead where you are trying to be a selfish, successful person in life so you can bring other people with you. So there are other people's lives at stake, not just your own. I do in some respects, but again, people said to me, especially during your cancellation, they were like, this is a perfect opportunity, become the anti-TATE. And I was like, it's disingenuous, it's not real. And for me, values is such an important thing. And at the end of the day, you could take everything away from me, but if I've maintained my values of integrity, honesty, being straight up, because I always tell about this story, right? Me, myself, where I played rugby, never to a great level, I once got dropped and I said to my coach, hey, why am I not starting? And he was like, mate, you played like shit. Like, you played really bad. I can't believe you missed that many tackles with your parents watching. So many people in the world, they go, that is horrible. But that pain that I felt meant that I turned up to training on the Tuesday. I didn't miss a tackle. I didn't fuck around. I did what I needed to do. Yeah. The worst thing he could have done to me is to protect my feelings and say, oh, it's just a player rotation. So why would I try and project any information that is just purely to not hurt people's feelings? There are so many people like me on the planet that need to be spoken to in a certain way, and I need to continue being true to that. The second that I stop doing that, or it becomes a popularity contest, which again is not what I set out to do, and you get swerved on the way, there are temptations, there are this, there are that. But for me, there is always the fear of cancellation. But then at the same point, if we joke around about it all the time, we're really bad at celebrating wins on the way. That's probably my biggest weakness. We sold out the Hammersmith Apollo, 3,500 people, and we didn't even fucking celebrate. Wow. And we're like, bro, celebrate. But then we sit back and we go, well, if it all ended tomorrow, what a fucking ride. You know, I can go back to PT and on the gym floor, even if 100, let's say 1 million of my followers fucking hate me and 100,000 stay. That's enough to build a PT business. I'm cool. So the fear's there, but at the same time, if I can be true with myself, then I don't really care. And I bet there was a lot in your life as well. When they took the account, you were like, I didn't fold.
Yeah, and there is a degree of managing it. Like, I actually think it's very responsible for a lot of people to manage and say, is me saying this worth it to the mission? Because also you can be more effective by slightly inclining some things and keeping your platform over a longer period of time than doing one big blowout video and getting canceled and disappearing, right? So I'm not saying everybody should go my route. I was in a unique position, and I was saying for a very long time before I got canceled, I'm going to get canceled. They're going to delete me. I know it's coming for it. And I was in a very unique position. I think that a lot of people understand that there are tyrannical forces in the world and that censorship is a big issue. I think a lot of people are pissed off and unhappy with the social media platforms as a whole. If you ask the average person who does YouTube videos, he'll be like, yes, they censor too hard. Everyone understands that. There's a lot of pressure behind the dam, and I think if you can put a crack in the dam, it will break. The crack that was missing is if you get canceled, your career's over. And once I prove that's no longer the case, then the crack will appear and people will say, I've already seen it happen. Before my cancellation, I never heard anybody say, if they cancel me, I'll just move to Rumble. Never heard that once. And now I hear it every 5 minutes. So people are already starting to understand, oh, you know what? There's certain issues I will speak about. Certain things are important enough for me to risk my account. And if they cancel me, I can still survive. And I think once you do that, you allow people to resist maybe not all tyranny, maybe not change society, but the most obvious and crazy forms of tyranny, like locking us all in our houses for years, for example. I really think that's you can shift the way society functions. And I think that's really important because I don't think many people have studied history long enough to understand what happens when you delete one side of the story. The reason such heinous things have happened throughout all of human history is because they delete one side of the story and they tell you one false version of reality. And that's how people end up dead in ditches. That's how people end up starving to death. That's how every single bad thing that's ever happened has come from censorship. It's the beginning. The good guys never censor. It's the bad guys who censor. Always from the beginning. So if you have a duty to yourself and to God, you have to stand up and say something. This is reality.
Before we wrap up, one more thing I want to bring up. YouTube boxing, and you're not a YouTuber because I know what annoys me yesterday. People going,
I do something real quick.
He's good, isn't he? He's good. Look how he moves. I said,
I was
he's
only
a
going for
fighter.
30
That's
seconds.
what I know him as a fighter. We used to fight in sports halls. People like,
my package just came.
go on, mate, knock him out. Like, you're on the ground, you're in your guard.
I think my package
Knock
just
him
came.
out. I'm like, bro, it's an armbar. What are you fucking saying? You know? Like circus tavern, strip clubs.
Oh no,
we
man,
used
I
to
say
fight.
full stops away.
And I know since you've been here, I've been getting calls for certain promoters and trying to reach out to me to get to you. Will you ever fight? And if you do, who would you want to fight? Because now you can't go to a normal organization.
He's
There's no
gonna say
point. You're too
Logan
big
and
for
Jake
that.
Paul.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Logan Paul.
For me to fight, it would have to be personal beef. And the reason is because I can't be motivated by money because I have more than anybody would possibly believe. And I can't be motivated by clout because I'm already the most famous man on the planet. So,
Mashallah.
Yeah, so for me to take 6 months out of my life to beat the shit out of somebody would have to be I don't like that person. There are a few people on the internet who I dislike enough to do that. They're obviously cowards.
Is the beef with Logan Paul?
Logan Paul don't
Yeah,
want to
so
fight
True Geordie's some person who I'll smash up any day of the week for free. He's a fat fuck. He's into some haram shit. Look it up. Look up his screenshots. But,
Haram shit,
bro.
Hashtag haram shit,
bro. But he's a coward. Hassan Abbey is another guy, some liberal guy. He's a coward. These people are cowards. So there's no point in me mentioning cowards' names because cowards will just make every excuse under the sun. They're never going to do it. Logan would have to piss in a cup and pass a drugs test, which he never would because he's a steroid head. Listen, I'm genetically gifted. If I took steroids, I'd be a monster. So I'm walking around without a single drop of anything in me, smoking cigars and chilling. So if I were to actually train seriously and take steroids, I'd be super heavyweight. So either I get on the juice or he has to come off the juice, one of the two before him. But even then, I'm the A side, not him. Everyone cares about me, not him. It would have to be my promotion, my conditions, working with you, fighting here in Dubai, somewhere neutral. I'm not going to America, home of the devil, not going there. So there's going to be a whole bunch of conditions, and it's not that simple. People say, oh, why don't you just fight this guy? If I were to fight some guy, it'd be $100 to $200 million deal. You think I'm doing that unless I'm getting most of the money? You think I'm going to make some other dude rich? Oh, yeah, I smash his face in, but he gets 75M and I get 50. No, there's principle involved. And nobody's going to have a fair fight with me because I'm going to get wrecked. So it's complicated. Like, it's difficult.
I know everyone's asking me, and I'm saying it is like that. But I know Jake Paul. You don't mind Jake Paul because he kind of came. His brother came against you, but he actually supported you. He said, "Look, whether I like the guy or not, I respect freedom of speech," or something like that. He tweeted.
I have no problem with Jake. Jake seems a lot smarter than Logan. Logan's absolutely and utterly an agent of the Matrix. Logan is bought and sold and paid for, and Logan is so afraid of being canceled again because he was canceled once and he cried on TV. He's so scared of being canceled again that he'll say anything he's told to say. So Logan is a bought and sold agent. His brother has a little bit more free speech. His brother's more a boxer than a YouTuber now. And I think Jake Paul is probably the only person in the YouTube boxing space who's actually any good. I don't think Jake's bad. I think to think of Jake as a YouTuber is stupid now.
Yeah,
Jake is a boxer.
I agree.
He's a young man who's training boxing every day.
Yeah, and he's good.
He's good. The guy can
respect.
box. Jake, you'd have to train for to beat, right? The rest of them, clowns. The rest of them are clowns. And also, and I don't want to be arrogant, I do kind of feel like I'm above it in some ways. Like I have an important message. I can sit and do a podcast with you guys like this and get millions and millions of views. I don't need to go beat people up in the ring or perform like a clown for these fools.
No, I agree.
It would have to be someone I actually genuinely dislike. So Hassan Abbey, who's a little coward. He's some guy in America. He's really strange. He's obsessed with girls driving better than him. He has long hair, wears dresses, total weirdo. I'll smash him to bits. True Geordie, who me and him had beef for a long time. Long story. He came at me, insulted me a bunch. Then these screenshots came out about him, and I showed his screenshots. He got upset about it. Last time he was asked about me, he said if he saw me, he'd punch me in the face. I fucking dare him. I dare him to even try.
We know that's waffle.
Yeah, of course you would, you fat fuck. So I'll deal with him. But besides those two, there's very few people I'd be motivated to bother to smash up.
People come up to me because I promote social knockout. I do YouTube fights, and I said to him, number one, he doesn't need to do it. Number two, if he does it, why would he be on a Misfits card or a Showtime? He could do his own promotion company. I'm here, we do shows, and he's the A side where he's under his TV contract because they need him. The YouTube game is different. Like, you'll find that all these followers don't convert to seats, and it's weird. I spent a lot on a few shows, and I didn't make the returns because I was like, oh, they've got 10 million followers, this.
Followers
be packed.
I'll say something now. I'll tell you the most thing I learned about cancellation, and this is for all the people who think they're popular on the internet. Followers and fans are different. You get everyone, when you have followers, when you know how to play the algo and the algo likes you and you make semi-friendly content, there's a whole bunch of people who will watch you just because you're there. Oh, new video, yeah, I'll watch it.
True, that's what they're doing to me right now.
Unless you're
True.
truly unique or you truly make people have an emotional response,
Yeah.
they can replace you with whoever else. Oh, he's not there today, but this guy's there. This is the problem. If you're a big prankster, let's say online, I'm a big prankster. If they delete you, there's another prankster. They'll just put another prankster on the algo. You have to make people have an emotional response. And I say the best way to tell if someone has fans or followers is, one, if they can sell something outside of YouTube. Because that makes somebody actually get up and make an
100%.
action and
I mean,
do
I'm
something.
not popping it though. So
I know people with 10 million followers who can't sell a thing, and I know people with 100,000 followers who sell 100,000 products.
100%.
So, can you make people buy something or take an action? Are they signed up to your email list? Are they signed up somewhere else? That's the first thing. And secondly, do you make people have an emotional response? And that's the thing about being polarizing, which has an advantage to it. But you're right, man. These
That's why
views and fans are different things, bro.
You said because I was impressed, and like a lot of people, you have a big following, not following, but fans as well. I mean, these arenas you want.
It's start your business time.
Real estate is booming.
I should be booming.
to sell out. It can't be from Instagram. And I'm telling you, from experience, I've done promotions. And
like, I caught on to the algorithm, like, all of these live streams entertainment shit getting 100+ views and shit. But what I'm trying to do, I'm throwing my little pieces of content that I do in real life and shit. I'm still uploading, throwing that up in there too, so they could, so I could have a chance. This right here, what I'm doing right now, for one, I like doing. I like reacting. Y'all know that's why I got a whole reaction channel. I like reacting. So shit, but I'm trying to.
Probably for one of the biggest promotions out there in the YouTube world, it was, and I'm not going to mention names, and I signed them, promote this, that, and I had a system of checking with codes. They could not sell anything, and literally, it surprised me. Then I saw this Social Gloves. There's another event which went bust when they put a big investment into, they didn't get the buys. They thought 10,000 buys the last show with accumulation of 300 followers. So it's a different thing, but like, for example, I'm not sure how many followers you have on thing, but to sell out arenas, that's a fan following. That's legit. Like books, sellouts, like you said.
Yeah, that's not the type of fan base I want, bro. I want the fan base that follow me no matter what platform I'm on. I want people to fuck with the content, fuck with me, fuck with me.
But there's something more than you going in your like, I've seen you in Speedos and laying there, like, there's something more to it.
That.
So that's an art itself. Like I said to him, he's not on bloody social media. Like, all right, forget Rumble. I'm not even subscribed to Rumble. I think he just started the other day. People are screaming. I said, it's not because you're counter, it's something else. It's scary. It's like, I've never seen it. I've had influencers, YouTubers come. That reaction is insane. I said, I've never seen it since Kim Kardashian when she came to buy Orenal. Like, it's like that style. So that's an art itself.
Isn't it interesting though? You say 200 million for a fight, not really interested, but you were trying to do an event for your tenets of TATE where you probably would have got, let's say, 1,000 people in a room, I'm not sure what the ticket price would be, but you're looking at a very small percentage of what you'd get for the fight. So you're saying I'd rather educate 1,000 people with what I believe than I would to entertain a million people. And make
Yeah,
200
I'm nobody's clown, and a
Every
lot of these
take.
YouTubers are clowns. I'm nobody's clown. I don't have to
Me either. I'm not a fucking clown.
perform for anybody. I'm not fucking Jake and Logan running around being. I have no problem with Jake, but I'm not Logan running around pretending to be. Oh, look what I spilled my drink. Ooh. I'm not a clown for nobody, right? I don't have to be a clown anymore. Yeah, I've had a long fight history. If I have personal beef with somebody, if I feel like smashing somebody up, I'm happy to do it. Nobody can say I'm afraid to fight. I've done it 87 times.
Yeah,
So, do you know what I mean? So, but I'm nobody's clown. And yes, I want to try and educate people. I'll educate people for free. And that's all I do. Like, all I do is sit here and do podcasts. No one's paying me to be here. Like, I've got all the time. I've got money and cars, and I got to do anything I want. I'm here. I love to educate people. I love to tell people about my worldview, and I genuinely believe that anybody who's a fan of mine and listens to the things I say has a better life. And I know
True.
that from personal experience. Anybody who
I
listens
know
to
that from personal experience too. Most of the niggas I know that say they fuck with Tate. Like, for example, me, Hollywood, and every other nigga that's in Hudson University. Their life
ends
becoming
up
better, bro.
happier, more motivated at least. You know, ends up having a better life, and that means more to me than being someone's clown. If I go smash somebody up, yeah, people will be entertained, but their lives are not going to be any better.
Yeah.
And it's different. So it's not. I don't have the same motivation behind it.
Now I realized you're influential with one thing, like Andrew Tate genuinely made me do 500 push-ups one day. There was one video, and like at the
I
time,
thought I was tripping. I did the same thing. Yo, he said, to see if you mentally weak or not, I want you to do 500 push-ups today. Right now, do 500 push-ups. I knocked the 500 push-ups out. This is before. This is before I moved out here. This is before I was doing even 50 push-ups a day. This is before I was being active or none of that. This is before all of this shit. There was a video he said if you are mentally strong, then you should be able to do 500 push-ups a day. So that day I did 500 push-ups. Arms was hurting so bad I couldn't even much go down. But what? I did that shit.
he was annoying me.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like, I'm not. Like, I'm mentally strong. Like,
seeing his face everywhere, and he was like, "Well, if you actually want to do something, get up and do 500 push-ups." I swear I was in my house. I was like, "All right, I got this."
I want to see the video footage.
I
Of that, bro.
was
I
like,
do not believe
got
that.
this.
I used to be in shape. I can't do that right now. Nah.
No, but like in
I'm
parts.
joking, I'm
To
joking.
be honest,
I split it
realized-
up though. I ain't gonna. Don't think I did 500 straight, nigga. I'm not Superman now. Hey, don't get shit. I broke that shit up each hour. I did 100 an hour, bro.
He was
What?
like, most of your.
He said he don't care how you get it done, just get it done that day, and
And
I did
I
it.
was like, I'm not. Who are you to tell me I'm
500,
gonna give up?
nigga.
You know. So that's the difference between like you said, having like a proper fan following, like someone that you can trigger them to actually emotionally react.
You have to piss people off for them to do anything.
I
about
said
their lives.
the most influential people in the world are not the ones that are liked. It's the ones that have a lot of like love and hate. You know, it's like
I have to be careful saying names now because everybody knows me. I don't want to say names, but there's certain people who are influential and well known online, and they're like these positive gurus and positive spirituality, whatever. And I look at their stuff, and it's just bollocks. I'm
I
just looking at it going,
totally agree.
this is bullshit. And like you said with your rugby coach, 100% me. The number of emails I get who said, you called me a loser, and I agreed with you, and now my life's fantastic. I think there's something innate inside of men. Sometimes you need to be taught the way. That's how I grew up.
No,
that's how I was taught. We're from the fight world, bro.
It is
That's
like that.
how
You're
we
like
learn.
this.
That's how we learn.
Your whole gym would laugh at you. You got beaten up. You got caught with that. They'd abuse you.
Yeah.
You literally get, rugby's the same. The rugby changed. I know how fucked up they were, but that's why I like your content because it's funny. But it's the way you analyze kind of these gurus, and you kind of custom at it, and you're like, no, well, technically not. That shit. What I like is real, and that's why I think people resonate with you. When you're these gurus, like there's some Indian guy going, I don't know what his name is, and he says, "Thou shalt love," and he's his post, and they said he's actually doing plagiarism with other people. You know, it's all this, and they're simps. Because they're doing it because they think the girls like me and but the ones who are hardcore and stick with their own real content, they'll never be forgotten. You can get the money now, but the longevity, it will always go.
Let's think about muscle growth quickly. You need to take a muscle to the point that it fucking fails. Then what do? You ease off, then you come back and you do it again even more. And over time you react, you respond, and over what you become stronger. We need to do the same. And again, what you said there, I genuinely believe there are people that hate you, that you've benefited their lives. Because you have called them a loser. Interestingly enough, your voiceovers are used on a lot of TikToks online, and successful people have the voice in their head that say, get up, you fucking piece of shit, and go do what you said you were going to do. But for a lot of people out there that don't have that voice, yours is in there. And they
Why do they hate me?
They don't have to like you, but that doesn't defeat your purpose, which is kind of an interesting. And even myself, there have been times that I've seen your content and I've gone, I don't agree with that, and times I've seen it and I've gone, fucking hell, he's so right. And when you are successful in life, you're not challenged enough. And I think that even if people are watching this just waiting for you to trip up and say something wrong, fuck me. I mean, we need that voice in our heads that challenge us and make us do better.
And you need to make people think. I have no problem with everybody who watches this disagreeing with me. If everybody who watches this disagrees with me completely and they can articulate why and tell me why they disagree with me and they can think of an argument counter, then I've already succeeded. Making people think, whether it's for you or against you, is the #1 weapon against the slave mind programming. So I have no problem. If I make people think, I don't care if they disagree with me. Because I'll tell you, the biggest slave minds in the world today are people, and they're out there, who have strong emotional reactions to subjects they don't even completely understand. You can go out there and say the name Andrew Tate to somebody, and they'll go, I hate him. Why? I don't know. If you don't know why you feel angry, you have been programmed. How can you have an emotional response to something you do not understand? These are slave-minded individuals. So if you're a slave mind and you're watching this and you hate me, it's fine. Write an email, write it to me, write it down, explain articulately why I am wrong, turn your brain on, and I guarantee halfway through the email you realize you were probably fucking wrong in the first place. Most people do not think. So if I have no problem being martyred. If I have to be hated for people to think, then I think that's a good thing for society as a whole. So
and like, it was unfortunate the show, which was going to come back soon anyway, he was given opportunity 30 minutes questions answered to the public. There's a channel for you there to say whatever you want. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people have a script, say this. He comes up, like, I've been to a few with him, like in the background. He just goes, he never says someone, don't ask me this, don't ask me that. He just go ahead. That's confidence. That's confidence in what you're doing. So that's what I respect. He's like, he never ever, like, I've had YouTubers who are nothing go, you can't say this, I can't wear this. I'm like, well, no one knows you. Like, even my staff don't know who you are. But he literally turns out the podcast and how controversial. There's many things you could say. Trigger him. He just says, go, let's go, flow. So you got to respect that. And then people see it as confidence.
Yeah.
You know?
I believe in my ideas and I'll defend them. And I'll also sit here and be proved wrong. Fine. That's just the whole point of it.
Yeah,
do you think there's things that you've said wrong in the past? Because obviously, like you said, you're always shifting. Like, you were atheist, now you're obviously Muslim. But do you think also, except the religion part, do you think there was any things that you have said wrong?
What I do, like I said, I'm very professional. I'm not emotional about these things. I don't think I've said anything besides the religion thing that I thought was wrong. I do think that the way I said things back then was fine because I had a very small following. But when you become the most famous man on the planet, you are ignorant to sit and say that I can say things the same way. To have 1% of people misunderstand a video that gets 500 views is fine. To have 1% of people misunderstand you when you get 5-10 million views every video you make becomes a problem. I do understand that. I understand that. And I can sit here and complain and say, well, the videos was made long ago and now I'm famous and I couldn't see the future, etc. But with great power comes great responsibility, so you have to accept that.
Take
and
accountability.
You also have to accept there's always going to be a proportion of people who misunderstand you.
Yep.
I also have to understand and accept that a lot of the things I talk about are complicated issues and there's a lot of nuance. And if a 14 or 15-year-old boy watches it and doesn't understand the nuance behind it, he's going to say, Tate said sleep with loads of girls, and they're not going to get it. But I would argue that that's not an Andrew Tate problem. That's an internet problem. If you give a 15-year-old mind unfiltered access to the internet, they're not going to understand a bunch of stuff. They're going to get a bunch of stuff out of context. Yep. So yeah, I don't think I said anything wrong. I've said things in ways I wouldn't say them now. No. But I also didn't know I didn't know. Oh, once I planned to go loud and get as big as I did, I didn't think that videos from 5.5 years ago on deleted channels would somehow appear. The internet's weird. People find stuff, bro. It's crazy. So it's what can you do, right? So
some of the stuff that comes up, I have to laugh. They bring anything up,
bro. They find stuff. So even I don't know where this stuff is. I literally don't. I'll be like, I don't remember this interview. I don't remember this podcast. I've been around for a while on the internet, so with great power comes great responsibility. You have to acknowledge that and accept that. So you have to be more careful how you say things, and that's not about avoiding the cancel culture. That's more about making sure that impressionable people don't misunderstand you. That's the big thing.
I think, guys, we've had a good little discussion. It's been random. Yeah. 4 different, completely opposite people.
Next time you have to wear the hat and do the Tate impression.
I even swapped the watch.
All right. Okay. Nice.
Attention to detail.
Yeah. Got to do that. Yeah, that's right.
It's his own little Freemason thing that people say. Oh,
it's going around the TikTok now that I worship devil or something because of this.
Bro, yeah, something's going around. Like you have this satanic friend from the. I've seen some stories come up and I laugh. Yeah. I like watching everything, and this guy with long hair and he's become Muslim. He's gonna start this thing in from inside Islam, a holy. Have you seen it? He's got a long hair. Let's clear this up now.
Let's clear this up.
There's some guys making a video.
Let's clear this up.
You've got a friend who's top something.
Yeah. So inside of my organization, which is called the War Room, we haven't talked about it at length, but I have a private members organization, And one of the guys who works for us is a hypnotist. So he kind of looks like a bit of a magician, and he's a hypnotist.
Jeez.
And he's a hypnotist because he's very, very good at it. And two, we do a lot of self-hypnosis. We talk about how everything that comes out of your mouth is self-hypnosis. If you say that you are strong before you go to lift weights, you will do better than if you say you are weak. It's self-hypnosis. He's a hypnotist. He has nothing to do with my personal religious beliefs. He's just a hypnotist who's part of the organization. There's pictures of me sitting next to him. This hand symbol is very innocently my father's hand symbol. When my father played chess, he used to play chess like this. Used to look at the board like this. So I adopted it almost to show respect to my father. That's why I adopted it, and then I got comfortable doing it. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know where it's from. People are trying to find these old pictures of things and put it all together, but that's the internet, right? But yeah, there's a hypnotist who's part of my organization along with thousands of other people, and I keep my hands in this position. In fact, I've put up posts on social media showing my dad doing the position a bunch of times, and I do the position a bunch of times. So it's just a chess thing.
You'll see it.
They're
doing the rounds. This is guys witchcraft.
So the interview basically over. They just talking about, but hey, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe if y'all enjoyed. If y'all want me to react to more podcasts, send me it on the socials. Y'all want me to react to a No Jumper podcast, anything that y'all want me to react to that's probably like an hour plus long. Y'all want me to I already did a reaction. We did a reaction to the Piers Morgan thing on Front Pills, not Piers Morgan. We could do the Kanye West Piers Morgan thing if y'all want to. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff, bro. But yes, sir. Hey, I got a video for y'all tomorrow. Make sure y'all turn y'all nutty better. Thank y'all for watching, bro. If you one of the 100 people watching and you not subscribed, bro, show some love, bro. We was fucking at what, 878, and we dropped right back down to 875.